Hello everybody, here is our 1989 Toyota van. We traveled around the country for about a month and a half in this guy, put about 7,000 miles on it, and a lot of off-roading miles too. We started our journey in New Jersey and ended up in Colorado, Utah, Nevada, Arizona, California, and everywhere in between. Right now we're in Tucson, Arizona, working, saving some money, and building out that 1976 Toyota Chinook so we can start traveling again with a little bit more headroom and a little bit more living space. Alright, so here's the inside of our 1989 Toyota van. We are currently not traveling, so most of our tools and living essentials are not in here right now. We're just using the van to go back and forth from work and to just kind of hang around Tucson, Arizona right now. And the whole van is re-insulated top to bottom. We tore it down to the skeleton, redid everything, built new interior, new walls, new door cards. Everything that had to be done and re-insulated was re-insulated. This futon folds inside and outside, so you can lounge in the back or in the front. Now we usually have 4 cabinets stored underneath our futon bed. Right now we have 3 because we're using one of them to carry our groceries in and out of the apartment that we're living in. The 2 in the back, the one on the right here would usually be our kitchen. The one on the left would usually house all the tools that I would need if the van ever broke down. We have all our hoses, we have all our fluids, a tow strap, anything you might need if you ever get stuck. Our dashboard is a mess. We haven't cleaned up since we were in Utah, so we still have Utah dust everywhere. Those are our Lucy lights. We let them marinate up there all day in the sun so they can power themselves all night and give us a nice light. We didn't do much to the front of the cabin, just laid down some carpet and insulated it up here so it didn't get super hot from sitting on the engine over thousands of miles of traveling. We redid the door cards and I lost the door things there, so you put the vice grip on there and that works pretty well. Door straps are made out of an old belt, and besides that, all we really did up here was just cover the seats because they were old, nasty, and stinky. All of our curtains are held on by wires and hooks. It's pretty simple. Everything besides right here in the doorway where we just unroll and it covers all the way down to the floor. We also have a bug net that goes there that we hook up when we're camping and it's really buggy out. I like hooks and D-clips, carabiners, whatever you want to call them. So we have all our dog leashes up here, some clips here and there, and a big one down there that we usually hook the dogs up to when we're not around to watch them. So the back of our van is pretty simple. Our futon, our bed just folds over and sits over the edge of the futon. Our futon is just being held up by wood. We just made notches and the wood sits in there nice, and we usually have backpacks and other stuff back here anyway holding this up. We've got these shelves here that run the whole way of the bed, and on each side they have hidden compartments, so those house a lot of the dog stuff and a lot of things we don't use so often just to keep them up and out of the way. A fire extinguisher is important. We have a white one and a red one. A white one for kitchen fires, grease fires, and that sort of fire. And then we have another red one that we keep up here by the engine compartment if anything under our seats catches fire or we need to use that for the actual van itself. So we have 1980s Enki 92s on the van. They're 4 by 114.3 or 4.5. They're wrapped in 14-inch general grabbers, which I believe only come in one 14-inch size, so it shouldn't be too hard finding your correct size if you have 14s. I had to do a lot of cutting to get the general grabbers to fit. We cut the door here, we had to cut in the wheel well a little bit over here, and these pinch welds were a little bit too big back there and were rubbing up against the tire as well. Before we left, we put new shocks on the van and cranked the torsion bars all the way up. After driving about 5,000 miles or 7,000 miles or so, they started to sag, and I'm guessing that's because we did a lot of off-road driving. Our van was in a front-end accident at some point. The previous owner wasn't very good at repairing this, so we kind of left it as is. Our grill almost flew off somewhere in between New Jersey and Iowa, and we ended up taping it back on. The previous owner also tried to tackle a lot of rust repair and didn't do a very good job. I added the black bed liner paint before we left, hoping that it would keep it together a little bit longer, but with all the off-roading that we did and bad weather that we drove through, the bottom is starting to peel and fall apart. We have a large tully on top which houses most of my auto detailing equipment, our ARB awning room, and whatever else we can stuff up there. The ARB awning is the second largest one you can get, and we have it mounted on there with the regular ARB awning brackets. We originally had our bikes mounted on the roof. About a week before we left, I found these Saris fork mount bike racks which I mounted on the hatch here, and our back wheel is just held simply by that and a lock. On our tully rack we have 2 front wheel holders and a gas can holder that I made for about, I don't know, 10 bucks. I will upload a video with the bikes on, and I'll have to upload another video with our ARB awning room out, so you guys can see just how awesome that thing is.